and Indonesia actually has capitalized its DNA as the world's largest Muslim populations for the Muslim-friendly tourism market since 2012. From then on, I think the progress has been so significant. We have got several awards from the World Halal Travel Summit in Abu Dhabi, organized by Abu Dhabi Tourism and the Ministry of Tourism of Arab Leagues in 2015. That's where the milestone of the Lombok will be the world best halal tourism destination at that time. And other than destination, also the industry has been growing very fast. According to Traveloka, one of the good things is by this COVID-19 pandemic, I think the halal and Toyiban lifestyle is really the trends. It's really have the identical characteristic as the tourism trends in new market. As one of my colleagues in Indonesia Hotels and Restaurant Association, Badr Kosmian, said that if it's halal and Toyiban, it means it's COVID-19 free, inshallah. Yeah. So and the other opportunities that we have, if we have a large domestic consumption for halal and Toyiban products and services, it also has been noted by the SGIE report that we are the I think the fourth largest consumers for the halal and Toyiban product and services. That also include the Muslim-friendly tourism. And we also still believe that Muslim are big market and big growth opportunities and will recover faster because the fact the 57 OIC countries where Muslim majority population actually own 60% of the natural resources of the world and 40% of the uranium resources of the world. So this is really a big market that is really resilience to all the condition. The challenges, of course, is reduced purchasing power and higher operational costs due to the limited capacities restricted by the health protocols. And then we have to gain trust that everything is safe and healthy, as what Mr. Ufuk did. For him himself traveling to the Turkey and then look at the health protocol that has been implied and implemented there. And then, of course, the government has a limited support in social, economic, and health and financial facilities or support, and the uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic when will end. So, moving forward, next slide, please. I think gathering from the 7 months of experience as a sector that was severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This includes also the Muslim-friendly tourism. Despite the challenging condition, among the Muslim-friendly tourism practitioners, several optimistic missions should be developed to support the growth of sustainable Muslim-friendly tourism industry and seize new opportunities. For that objective, Indonesia Halal Tourism Association
will reach nearly 300 billion by 2024, with annual growth around 6.2%. Such great potential would be well optimized by various countries, even if they are not Muslim majority country. Look at the Thailand and South Korea, for example. They pay serious attention to the development of Muslim-friendly tourism. Thailand had declared their country as the world halal kitchen, and South Korea declared themselves as a world Muslim-friendly tourist destination. With these circumstances, Developing Muslim-friendly tourism in OIC country, including Indonesia, is a must. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at the Indonesian current condition, the potential for developing the tourism sector, including the Muslim-friendly tourism, is enormous. Indonesia has a very beautiful nature, delicious food variety, and cultural diversification. Those characteristics should be very attractive to international tourism, of course, especially related to Muslim-friendly tourism. Indonesia has also many Islamic landmarks that are very interesting to visit, like mosques, place, and so on. This should also be very attractive to international Islamic tourists. However, based on UN WTO data, from the total of 41 million Muslim tourists from Middle East, only 0.6% have visited Indonesia. This is very small. This figure indicates a huge gap between the potential market and actual Muslim tourist arrival in Indonesia. To that end, we need to scrutinize the constraint and the challenges so that we could address it properly.
Indonesian industry and focusing on areas that Indonesia has some potential for. So some of these ideas are, for example, focusing on diaspora and visiting family and friends. So Indonesian citizens who are living abroad, they would be more willing to visit, having the reassurance of having family and friends in the country and being able to fully understand the situation on the ground. So this is an important target segment. And the second one is pivots. And as we gave some examples of virtual experiences, video streaming, hotels, for example, during the height of the crisis some of them started offering laundry services, or started offering rooms for work from home as work from home venues. So pivoting, thinking outside of the box. Restaurants, for example, they started offering prepared meals or even meal kits. So thinking of what are the current tools and resources available to businesses that they can offer alternative products while during this reduced period of travel. And then retraining tourism workers for alternative employment towards the new normal. And it's divided into stages. So return is the first initial stage right after the crisis. And it's basically focusing on health and safety as the main and contactless technology. And then reform is preparing businesses to really invent new solutions and be more efficient. And examples of steps that can be taken in the reform stage are expanding business models, like the examples that I gave in terms of offering alternative services, and then also focusing on domestic travelers. And then in the reinvent stage, and we're providing a few examples in terms of destinations and travel agencies and OTAs, hotels, restaurants, and food services. So reconfiguring the MICE industry to be, in terms of future outbreaks, to be able to move events like this one online, and then private-public partnerships, and implementing strategies to attract investments. In terms of travel agencies and OTAs, focusing on, for OTAs especially, artificial intelligence and machine learning has now surfaced as important in terms of tailoring offerings to customer preferences. And for the hotels, to focus on touchless travel experiences and also providing alternative services.
People are saying, governments are saying, let's, go into lockdown again. Of course, Spain is unhappy. The cases in the US are increasing. But if you look at Asia as a whole, we are actually recovering at a slow pace, and different pace, all around the world, like in Korea, Singapore, in China, we're recovering faster. But as in Asia itself, the economy and also the pace of recovery, number of COVID cases are actually falling as a whole itself. And therefore, we cannot only look at what is the situation now, we must prepare for the future. So my talk today will focus mainly about some of the most innovative solutions that come out from the travel industry across Asia. And I think hopefully we'll be able to for the hotel association, privacy and safety, smaller groups traveling, preference for outdoor travel, which we see in Malaysia itself. We work with a couple of hotels, and they've always been booked on the weekends, right? Because they are seaside resorts, or they feature nature parks, and that has been their major selling points. So if you own a hotel property or even a service, right, that is about nature, it's about vast expanse of land and being able to social distance, right? And that's some of the highlights and some of the things that you need to communicate to your audience. So the other thing is really domestic travel, like what we mentioned. Right? There is an increase in domestic travel, and in Malaysia itself, we've seen interstate travel. Of course, right now they're on CMCO, but before that, there was a lot of travel to Penang, to Ipoh, and in Singapore itself. Although it's quite funny to talk about domestic travel, we've seen an increase in the visitorship to a lot of the different attractions and hotels, and even small tours in Singapore. Okay. And the next thing is about transportation. People are looking for ways
there are and what the solutions could be, and how our booking has actually reacted to the pandemic, and what our future plans are, and to give maybe some ideas on how to build the business and make it stronger. So next slide, please. So Sister Reem has already obviously shared to grow by about 9% per annum, and it's going to reach 274 billion by 2023. Obviously, because of the pandemic, all of the tourism sector is suffering. But I don't want to, take such a pessimistic view like many experts in the industries are projecting. So they are saying like it will take us 5-6 years to recover and get back to 2019 levels, etc. It depends on what sector in the travel sector you're obviously talking about. If it's about business travel, it's about events travel, okay, maybe it will take a little bit more time. But I actually, based on what we experienced this summer, in terms of our own sales, I actually think the recovery will be much faster. So next slide, please. Briefly, halal conscious traveler is obviously